Next letter we have is Samech, which had two forms. The form you see here, which essentially became extinct, and the other form, which was more commonly used. This led to a simpler form of simple three crossbars with a line through the middle, which is the form that's often seen in ancient Hebrew. And this eventually lost the bar in the middle, became simplified, the middle bar shortened and formalized into the Greek letter Xi, and this has no equivalent in the English language. Now the next letter we have is Ein, or Ein, which means I, as you can see simply here. Became simplified very early on into an even circle. That even circle is the same even circle that became Omicron in Greek and O in the current language we have as English. Alright, next one we have is Pe, or Pe, which is a symbol for a mouth. You can see it's an open mouth here in the form of a simple oval, which got abbreviated relatively quickly into roughly a half an oval and became expanded, slightly flattened out, and even more curved on top. Eventually was pivoted on its side for the Greek letter to form pi, and the other side form was eventually used in a modified form, which was often seen in writing, which was more of an elongated shape, which eventually the Latin form or Roman form developed in a more curved hook-like pattern, curving in on of itself and flipped around to become the letter P as we know it today. Now the next letter we have here has many variations and many speculations on how it came about and what exactly it means. It's known as tzadi or tzadik, and either means a trail or a trail-like pattern, or it could be a man lying on his side. There's been more evidence to the former lately. This essentially was simplified, and rather than a circle shape, just became a line with the trail coming out, and ultimately shortened, elongated again, and became a letter which is no longer used in Greek, but is the ancient Greek letter san, or tsan, and again there's no equivalent of that in the English language. The next language we have is Kuf, or Kof, which means monkey. Well, it looks slightly like an ape-like form, as you see here. The head was gotten rid of and was simplified into a circle with a line coming down. This became another extinct Greek letter known as Kappa, and this became pivoted on its side and ultimately led to the letter Q, which many times you'll see the letter Kuf transliterated from Hebrew as the letter Q. And the next letter we have is Resh, which correlates to the Hebrew word Rosh, meaning head. This is just an estimation as to what it may have looked like. There are variations on this, and it was simplified over time into a triangular or circular type shape with a line down on the right side. The latter was simplified, turned around, and straightened, and became the Greek letter Rho. A tail was added to it later and became the Latin R, as the English letter we know today. Moving down towards the end of the alphabet, we have Shin, which also has its counterpart Sin, which represents teeth, which Shin means tooth in Hebrew nowadays. Was simplified into a more angular type form, into a W-like shape, which was commonly the ancient Hebrew form. This became pivoted on its side and elongated to become Sigma, as we have it in Greek, and again the bottom was lost, simplified, and became S, as we know it in English. The final letter we have is Tav, which means cross. As you can see, it's a simple two-line pattern which became pivoted over time, became more like an X in ancient Hebrew, was re-straightened out into a cross for Greek-like purposes, ultimately becoming Tau, which became the T we know today. Now, we have covered every letter of the current English alphabet other than the letter X. X, as everyone knows, is a very mysterious letter, planet X, so on and so forth. In fact, it is the only letter in our current English alphabet that does not derive from an ancient Hebrew or Phoenician character. Rather, it comes from one of the extra Greek letters, and this one is Chi or Chi, spelled C-H-I, as you see here on the right. This was one of 4 added Greek letters. Below we have the other 3, Phi, Psi, and Omega, which all of those 3 have no equivalent in the English language. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this.